I'm in the tent and it's raining.
It is still raining. Hello from my blurry ass phone. It's still raining because we're in Scotland. There's water on me. I am a drowned rat on a walk with a big pack. Alright, so we just passed the start and this is the first sign. Now we're officially en route on the West Highland Way, and just behind it we have the river. So let's see how this week goes, and let's hope the weather holds up. Something that's very surprising about this route is how well it's signposted. It's every couple hundred meters, maybe every half kilometer, there's at least a little sign or one of those like waypoint markers. So it's a very like well-maintained route. But there's a mountain. There's a mountain. Where's the mountain? There's the mountain. As a Dutch person, that's a very big mountain. As any other country, that's probably not a big mountain. But yeah, so far it's quite a nice walk. It's not technical. At this point, this one path, which goes back a very long way, is it's a bit boring. But I feel like as soon as I leave this area, it's gonna be quite a nice walk. So looking forward to that. And the weather is great. That's another thing. Today is I looked at the weather forecast for the last week and refreshed it a million times, thinking it would be quite bad. But yeah, it's almost like there's a blue sky. Ooh, there's a blue sky. All right, day 2. Had a nice little start to the morning, good breakfast, and then I packed up camp, and now I'm heading over to Drimmen, I think it's pronounced. And then while walking, I decided to attach my camera bag to the front, to my chest. Then I walked on for a couple more kilometers, only to find out that when I took off my bag to attach my camera bag to the front, I forgot my hiking poles. So then I walked back a couple kilometers, picked up the hiking poles, and now I'm on my way again. So we have arrived at the next campsite unexpectedly, because I was not intending to camp here. But for the first time ever, I think, I have blisters on my feet. I haven't had them in other long distance hikes, so that's quite annoying to have them now in Scotland. Also because I'm feeling fine for the rest, it's just my feet are not happy. So yes, I have decided to set up camp here, and over there we have the lock. So close by to collect some driftwood to make a fire tonight, enough water to drink and to use for meal cooking, food prep. I really like this spot with the waves breaking in the background and the rain dripping on the roof. Today's new meal, I've never had this one before, veggie couscous from Adventure Food. Surprisingly good. That being said, over and out. See you tomorrow. Bye. Alright, good morning. Good morning. So it is still raining. It has rained the entire night, like the entire night. It has not stopped raining since I've gone to bed 11 and a half hours ago. Yes, I have slept a lot and I'm very proud of that. It's still raining. It should be stopping in about an hour and a half. So I'm just going to take my time, pack everything up in the tent. And then I will pack up the tent once it stops raining. Last night I let the blisters dry out a bit on my feet. There was one here and one on the other side. And now I'm going to tape them. Perfect. All right, we have started. Just packed up the campsite, only to find out that when I left, I was actually camping right next to an established campsite within probably about 60-70 meters. So that's quite funny. And it was lovely because when I left, the little robin which had been singing the night before, and that morning decided to like sit on a branch right next to me and whistle about, and then started sneezing, which was quite funny because I've never seen a robin sneeze. All right, day 4 has started and it brings warm weather. Warm weather in Scotland. What a surprise. It is actually quite surprising because after tomorrow, or tomorrow night, I believe tomorrow night, it's going to be -2. So I'm very happy that I brought my winter gear. I'm aiming for about 25 kilometers today, and we'll have to see if I get there or not. I do think that I might get rid of my hot water. So when I go hiking in the winter or in cold conditions, I almost always take some, maybe you can see it, that green bottle, some hot water. Just because it also means that once I arrive at the camp in the evening or wake up the following morning, I don't have to boil water because the water bottle keeps it hot for ages. So yeah, I might throw that out just to reduce some weight and some pressure off my feet, and maybe also my actual water bottle, which is behind the tripod, just so just so I'm reducing some weight. But today is lovely. So one of the funny things about hiking the West Highland Way is in some parts, especially now in March, because it's quite calm and there's not really many people, you don't just share the track with other people, you also share the track with deer. So I just, up ahead, I wasn't able to film it, but up ahead there were a couple of deer just chilling on the path. I do have to say, I would strongly discourage this route if you don't have waterproof boots. Just because the entire route, I mean, this happens to be the dry section, but the entire route has a lot of wet paths and streams, not just running across the path like we just had, but also on the path, where the path is a stream, or this, and this one is not as bad, but in some parts it's a couple centimeters deep, so it's just enough to get your socks soaking wet if you don't have what you call them, waterproof boots. So we have arrived at my destination for today, the bothy, the wee little bothy. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So I believe it used to be an old barn, or a very small barn. And there's like a nice table. It smells delicious, like wood fire. There's a fire pit, a chair, essentially everything you want. Look at that. Amazing. There's even some, there's some Jack Daniels in a bottle. Not sure if I would trust it, but there is Jack Daniels in a bottle. And a bunch of saws. Oh, amazing. I am excited. So I am in the forest. The bothy is just between those trees over there. And for tonight I am looking for a tree, and I think I found it. So it's kind of hard to see with the backlight, but this tree is very, very dead. It's pretty rotten on the inside, so it should be an easy cut and an easy burn. And it's still standing, so it isn't too wet on the inside, because typically with fallen trees like that stump, what you'll have is the water stays in the little grooves, and it just soaks up and it doesn't dry out as quickly or as well. All right, day 4 has started. Just left the bothy. It was very nicely maintained. Some people also left a gas can there, or like actually multiple gas canisters. So you could use those. Oh, there's a deer. So my plan now is to walk to another bothy. Because there's 2 relatively close together. They're probably about 12 kilometers apart. I'm just going to stay at that bothy tonight. I think it's a good target for today. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes from where I am. But what can you do? That is part of the adventure. Yeah, the weather today is great. Ooh, I see my first snow peak. Not sure. Wait, let me see if I can... There we go. It should be right there, I think. Yeah, right next to... It's kind of hard to see. Right next. All right, good morning from day... What is it? 4, 5? Not sure. Either way, today brings blue skies. Look at the sky, it's blue. How exciting. Last night stayed in the second bothy along the route. I think that's also the last bothy on the West Highland Way. And it was quite nice. The night before I stayed in one and I stayed there alone. Where at 2 in the morning, while sleeping in a little old barn alone in the woods, they were scratching at the door because there was a pine marten trying to come in. And then that was quite opposite to last night, because last night it was full house. I was there first, a German couple showed up, and then 2 other couples showed up who were Scottish, Northern Irish and English. And then 2 Romanians showed up, and then an American showed up. So it was really full house, and altogether they also brought 3 dogs. So it was a nice packed bothy. Now it's quite chilly. I have experienced the pinnacle of Scottish weather. The forecast said that it would stay dry and that it would not rain. It would not rain within the next hour. 2 minutes after refreshing and checking the forecast, it starts snowing. So I guess that indeed it did not start raining. But yes, Scottish weather is really... Well, I thought Dutch weather was interesting, but Scottish weather is even worse.
Hello friends, I am sitting on the side of the path because, as technology does, it fails you and the batteries die. So I am, where is it? There it is. I am charging my watch. But yes, so this is also part of hiking which you don't typically see. So I am showing you the behind the scenes. Enjoy. Alright, it looks like we have made it to the Highlands so far. Still walking parallel-ish to a road, so you might hear some traffic. But there are plenty of... Where are they? There they are. Sheep. Hey. Alright, my lips are a bit dry, so... well, sorry about that. I guess not, because my lips have nothing to do with you. But I have very exciting news. I have very exciting news indeed. I am headed to Tindrum, which should be about an hour's walk. And I might be taking my first shower in a week. How exciting! How exciting. I checked the campsite. They didn't pick up my call, but according to the website, there should be space for camping. But there should be a laundry machine as well. So it is very, very, very luxurious. My God. It's, you know, no longer having to bury my shit. I can just use the toilet. It's fantastic. No longer need to freeze my tits off in a lock. I can use a shower. My goodness. It's the little things in life, isn't it? Ah, it's exciting. All right, you guessed it. The campsite is closed. So there was no one there. Campsite's closed, showers are locked. So it's fucking annoying. Very annoying. Either way, now I am continuing to the next campsite because I am going to take a shower. It was my plan. Well, it wasn't my plan, but it turned into my plan. And hell, if I don't get my shower, I'm going to be grumpy.
grumpy alone in my tent. Grrr. Like a little gremlin, like an orange gremlin in an orange tent. Alright, so the first camping was closed. That sucked. That sucked so badly because it was like, you know, they also had signs which were like, oh yeah, in like, you know, 2 kilometers the campsite. And I'm like, 2 kilometers, okay, I got this. And then it was like 1 kilometer the campsite. I'm like, okay, 1 kilometer, yes. And then you show up and there's a sign that says it's closed. And it's like, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, you should be. I'm dying. But either way, my feet, my legs, my will to live, it's all destroyed. My will to live is out of the window, out of the tent. I'm done. It's currently like 5:30 in the morning and it is -7 degrees. And I am so happy that I've brought my winter sleeping gear. My goodness. Ah, I made you yawn. I made you yawn. Good morning. It is now, I don't know which morning it is. It is raining and oh, that's not news. But I have just left the campsite without a backpack because I am going to treat myself to a full English breakfast. See, it has warmed up a lot. Last night it was -7 and now I'm sitting here by the river. Wait, where's the river? There's the river. And I'm making some eggs. I do have to say I'm really not hungry because I did have a Scottish or an English breakfast right before this. And that inspired me to get eggs, and then I couldn't really wait and I decided to make 6 eggs and a whole, what is it, like 300-400 grams of bacon. So I am stuffed, but there's still some left. Look at that. So I'm just gonna keep eating because you know what, I will use the calories nonetheless, and otherwise I'll just have a bit of extra winter fat. Cheers. All right, we are en route. This is probably the latest start any hiker has ever had. I think it's probably about 1:30. Oops. Either way, it was lovely to wake up, take my sweet ass time, have a little lunch, and then pack up and go. All right, a couple hours later, I would like to take this time to call on the Haribo marketing team. Share size, I assume that's sharing with myself, right? Because I just devoured two entire family and share size packs. So we just passed, well, it's me walking, it's not you. As much as you are watching this, my goodness, what a life you live. Enjoying the views, enjoying the comedy that is me, without actually being on a walk in the rain. Anyway, I just passed the Bridge of Worky. Where is it? Can you see it? I think that's it. Yeah, that right there at the top of my pole. That is Bridge of Worky. I'll plug in a different video that I took. But it was quite a nice bridge, gotta say. It's a very cute train station as well. There's not really much there. It's just, I mean, a freight train and I think maybe 1 or 2 passenger trains coming by a day. Well, shocking news. I'm in a tent, which is shocking. And it's raining, which is shocking as well in Scotland. This country, or at least this time of year, my goodness, it's so much rain. I am about to have dinner, and today, as a starter, I have cup of soup, and the other stuff. And this is a tip in case you do have like dried, dehydrated food packs. I am rehydrating chili con carne. But the thing is, if you put it in a sweater, and to make sure it's straight, and zip up your sweater, you get a very nice and warm belly, and your food actually also stays warmer. All right, so it's a bit of a late check-in today. Already did about 17 kilometers from where I stayed last night. And as I was packing up my tent this morning, I met someone and then we decided to walk together. And since I had human accompaniment to talk to, I abandoned you guys. So I'm very sorry for that. But not really, because it was a nice walk. This is the view
behind me. Look at all these clouds and mountains. So it is just lovely. So there's a pretty sizable rainstorm coming just my way. How exciting! Either way, this looks lovely. This, not so much. Raindrops falling on my head. Oh my god, I'm really like a drowned rat. Like a drowned rat. Update, it has stopped raining. The walk up it's not as devilish as it sounds. But yes, so now I just need to find a spot where my tent can fit. Made it to the top of Devil's Staircase. It's dry, it's fantastic, my goodness. Time to look for a nice camping spot, set up tent, and go to bed. Alright, so I was about to set up my tent, and this rain cloud is about to hit in probably under 30 seconds. So I'm not going to set up my tent just because, you know, I may as well keep walking. What I do today, I won't have to do tomorrow. Good evening, Scotland. So I have set up my tent, and now it's died down a bit, but we're in a bit of a windstorm, which means, so this tent is designed for it. But if you see this side, it's high up. This side, it's way down here because the wind keeps pushing these poles down. See, so it should be like this, but now the wind has died down. It kind of stays, but it will collapse again as soon as there's a new heavy gust. But yeah, it's going to be a very long, very interesting night. All right, well, good morning. It's 6:30 and everything is soaking wet. So the windstorm last night blew open one of the ventilation channels, and because it was raining like horizontally, kind of like when I was in Iceland, it was really, really properly storming. But the rain flew into the ventilation channel. Because the ventilation channel got blown open, and it essentially just like I had free access to the inner tent. So in the middle of the night I closed it, and I thought it was fixed, but because I'm quite high up in the mountains, I'm also in the cloud deck. So as it turns out, I slept in a cloud, and sleeping in a cloud also means that everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything, is wet. I am having a nice warm breakfast, oatmeal today, again, as always. There's nothing better than oatmeal while camping. And coffee, of course. It is raining a little bit, and I'm going to show you the view, because the view is just lovely. Look at that view. Greetings, humans. It is another day, and we're en route again, just about to cross a nice little river. So it's been quite an eventful night, but yeah, it's a lovely day. It's rainy, so I guess that's the status quo. We are almost at Milngavie, not sure how you pronounce it. So to any Scottish people watching, I'm very sorry for butchering the name. But the weather has cleared up a bit. There is, get ready for it. My goodness, look at that. It's really like finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Only difference, it's not a pot of gold and there is no rainbow. It's a blue sky. It's even more rare. It's also quite nice that it's not raining for once. Although I don't want to jinx it, I do kind of miss it. It's usually quite nice to walk in because it's like, you know, cooling, it's a shower, it's cozy as much as you don't expect it to, because it kind of feels like your jacket turns into like a nice little cabin with a fireplace. You're warm and cozy on the inside, and then you listen to the rain pitter-pattering off your little hood. So, but Milngavie, I'm coming for you! Ah! With the blue sky in the background somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I am leaving Milngavie. After a day of walking in the rain, I have arrived at the campsite. I have decided to set up my tent under a bunch of pine trees. This is where the tent is, right by the path, but seeing as it's off season and there's not really many people passing by, I figured, why not?
And since this trip, a new favorite, veggie couscous. It used to be chili con carne, but since this trip, I'm not the biggest fan of it anymore. So now veggie couscous has taken the place. That being said, I will see you guys tomorrow when I finish up the trip. And yeah, you've made it this far, so evidently something is going well. Bye. So we're just about to enter Fort William, just behind these two walkers who I've been walking with for most of the day. That's why I don't really have any other recordings, but just over there above my stick, that is Fort William. So that would be the end of the West Highland Way. So it's very exciting to almost be done. It feels like it hasn't been that long, but then if I think back about all the campsites and all the, well, camping spots I've stayed in, it feels much longer. Behind me here we have Ben Nevis, I believe, which should be the biggest, the tallest mountain in the UK. But I'm not entirely sure if it's this one or the one behind it, because they say it's this one. It feels a bit short, a bit small. I shouldn't be saying this, but it feels a bit small compared to what I was expecting. I was really expecting like the Everest of the UK, but it seems like this is it. So off to Fort William. Alright, so 154 kilometers later, this is it. This is the final point, end of the West Highland Way. So it's been a lovely journey. I hope you've enjoyed it, and have a good one. It is still raining. Ah!